In the heart of South America, where the world seems to breathe in whispers and shadows, lies a realm untouched by mercy, a place where nature's beauty hides a cruel secret. The Amazon rainforest, vast, endless, alive, and haunted. Beneath its emerald canopy, 1,000 eyes watch in silence, unseen by human gaze, waiting. Every rustle, every ripple, every distant cry hides something far more sinister than imagination dares to conceive. For centuries, the Amazon has been called the lungs of the planet, a paradise of life. But those who have walked its depths know a different truth. Paradise can be hell in disguise. Here, survival is not a choice. It's a brutal game written in blood and instinct. The creatures that rule this kingdom are not born of nightmares. Nightmares were born of them. When the sun disappears behind colossal trees, the jungle awakens. The air thickens, heavy with the scent of decay and life entwined. The water glows with unseen movement, as if the river itself breathes. And somewhere, hidden beneath that darkness, predators stalk in absolute silence. Creatures that do not roar, do not chase, do not warn. They wait, they study, they strike. Some kill to eat. Others, it seems, kill because it is their nature. Swift, precise, almost ritualistic. Legends tell of travelers who vanish without a scream, dragged into the depths of the river by something unseen. Hunters who became prey, eyes glowing beneath the surface. The jungle swallows evidence whole, leaving only stories whispered by those lucky enough to crawl back alive. There are things here that science struggles to explain. Animals that seem to think, to calculate, to plan. Beasts so adapted to their domain that they become part of the very forest itself. Invisible, patient, merciless. To them, we are nothing but another vibration in the air, another heartbeat to be silenced. Tonight, we will venture into darkness, beyond the safety of civilization, to uncover 7 beings that embody the pure essence of fear. From the silent assassins of the river to the crawling terrors that strike from nowhere, each one carries a story soaked in dread and survival. These are not just animals. They are the executioners of the wild. So, take a deep breath if you dare, because what you are about to witness is not fantasy. It is the raw, unfiltered truth of the Amazon, the side nature never meant for us to see. Welcome to the shadows. Welcome to the top 7 most terrifying animals of the Amazon. 7, the electric eel. Beneath the murky waters of the Amazon River, something ancient stirs. A creature that doesn't roar, doesn't strike with teeth or claws, but with lightning. The electric eel moves like a whisper in the dark, its long, muscular body undulating the current as if the river itself were alive. Its presence goes unnoticed until it decides otherwise. Then, the silence shatters. Invisible power surges through the water, and death follows in a ripple. It is not an eel at all, but a creature born of deception, a knife fish evolved into nature's perfect weapon, capable of unleashing 860 volts in a single merciless discharge. Imagine that, lightning trapped inside flesh. To the unsuspecting swimmer or the careless fisherman, it's already too late. When it strikes, the world goes white. Muscles lock, lungs freeze. A human heart, delicate and weak compared to the beast's electric storm, can stop beating in an instant. Many who vanish in the Amazon's waters are never found. The river keeps its secrets well. Some say they saw bubbles rise before the silence returned. Others say they heard a sound, a low hum, almost mechanical, before the darkness swallowed everything. There's a haunting tale told by locals near Manaus. A man who fell from his canoe one stormy night. His friend saw the water shimmer, flashes beneath the surface, as if the storm above had reached down into the river itself. They waited for him to resurface. He never did. The next morning, his boat was found drifting, empty, untouched, the paddle still balanced across it. Science called it electrocution. The villagers called it something else, the revenge of the river. Perhaps both were right. Deep beneath that calm, muddy surface, the electric eel reigns as one of the Amazon's most silent killers. No teeth, no claws, only power. 6, the bullet ant. High in the emerald towers of the rainforest, a different terror waits. Small enough to hide beneath a leaf, yet powerful enough to make grown men scream. The bullet ant. Jet black, unassuming, almost ordinary, until you feel its sting. The moment it pierces skin, time stops. It's not just pain, it's fire, electricity, and panic all woven into one. They say it feels like being shot, and those who've experienced it say the comparison doesn't even come close. In the depths of the jungle, local tribes use the bullet ant as part of a brutal coming-of-age ritual. Dozens of these ants are woven into gloves made of leaves, their stingers pointed inward. The young warrior must wear them for 10 minutes, unable to cry, unable to scream. Some faint, others convulse. Yet, when it's over, they rise as men. To them, this is tradition. To the rest of the world, it's madness. But the bullet ant doesn't care. It isn't cruel, it simply is. It defends its home with a level of precision and fury unmatched in the insect world. There was once an explorer who wrote that he could hear his heartbeat echo through the pain, that every nerve in his body seemed to be burning from the inside. Hours after the sting, his hand was swollen, trembling, numb. He said he could still feel it the next morning, as if the venom had marked him, a reminder that in the Amazon, size means nothing. Here, even the smallest creature commands respect. And when the bullet ant stings, the jungle listens. 5. The green anaconda. In the endless swamps and flooded forests of the Amazon, the water seems to breathe, slow, heavy, and alive. Beneath its surface, shadows move in silence, curling and uncoiling with impossible grace. The green anaconda, the heaviest snake on earth, does not hunt like others do. It waits. Hidden beneath the mud, its moss-covered scales blend perfectly with the river's skin. Fish glide past. Birds land to drink. Then, without warning, the calm breaks. A violent surge of water, a splash, and a muffled cry swallowed by the jungle. The victim disappears. The water closes again. Silence. There is no warning, no hiss, no sound of pursuit. The anaconda kills not with poison, but with patience. Once it strikes, its coils wrap around its prey like a slow, deliberate storm. Each breath the victim takes becomes shorter than the last, until breathing stops altogether. Bones creak, ribs collapse. Then the forest grows quiet again, as if it never happened. Days later, deep within its massive body, the creature's victim becomes part of it, absorbed by the very jungle itself. The cycle of power continues. For centuries, stories have drifted down the Amazon's dark rivers. Fishermen disappearing without a trace, jaguars vanishing mid-hunt, even rumors of humans swallowed whole. Some dismiss these as folklore, but those who've seen one, even from afar, never forget. Its eyes just above the waterline, unblinking, ancient, as if it remembers a world before ours. The anaconda doesn't chase. It doesn't need to. It knows time is on its side. And in the flooded heart of the Amazon, time belongs to the predator. 4. The Brazilian wandering spider. Night falls quickly in the rainforest. One moment, the world is green and gold. The next, it's black, suffocating, alive with movement. And among the endless legs and wings that crawl across the jungle floor, one creature reigns supreme in fear. The Brazilian wandering spider. Small enough to fit in your hand, yet powerful enough to end a life in minutes. Unlike other spiders, it builds no web. It hunts. It roams. Its very name, wandering, is a warning. It could be anywhere at any time. By day, it hides beneath leaves, inside rotting logs, or sometimes in places humans least expect, boots, clothing, even fruit shipments. But when darkness comes, it prowls. Its venom is a chemical storm, neurotoxins that paralyze, suffocate, and in men, cause excruciating side effects that last long after the poison fades. The bite burns like liquid fire. Panic spreads. Breathing becomes a desperate act. Without treatment, death can come swiftly, silently, and cruelly. One story tells of a lumberjack who reached into his boot before dawn. He felt a sharp sting, pulled his hand away, and saw nothing. Minutes later, he began to shake uncontrollably. His vision blurred, his chest tightened, and his co-workers carried him out of the forest before the paralysis set in. He survived, barely, but the fear remained. The spider, unseen, had vanished into the undergrowth, returning to its nightly hunt. In the Amazon, death doesn't always roar or strike from the shadows. Sometimes it crawls into your home, waits in silence, and chooses the moment you least expect. 3. The Black Caiman. In the stillness of the Amazonian night, the river looks calm, too calm. The moonlight glimmers across its surface, revealing nothing but reflections. Yet beneath that mirror lies a predator older than memory itself. The Black Caiman. Massive, armored, and utterly silent, it glides through the dark waters like a ghost carved from obsidian. Its eyes, two faint embers above the surface, watch everything that moves. When they vanish beneath the waterline, something terrible is about to happen. The Black Caiman is the undisputed ruler of the Amazon's waterways. Reaching lengths of up to 6 meters, it can drag a full-grown man into the depths without a sound. It waits patiently, sometimes for hours, until its prey dares to drink. Then, with terrifying speed, the stillness explodes. Jaws like steel traps clamp shut, and the river becomes a scene of chaos. A single bite crushes bones. A single roll beneath the surface ensures there will be no escape. Within seconds, the water goes quiet again, tinted with the color of death. Locals whisper about the night eyes, glowing dots that follow their canoes just above the water surface. They say if you see 2 red sparks in the dark, you're already being watched. In 2013, a fisherman disappeared near the Madre de Dios River. His boat was found the next morning, half submerged, claw marks etched into its wooden frame. His body was never recovered. Some said the river took him. Others said something far more ancient had claimed another soul. The truth? In the Amazon, there are predators that never need to evolve, because they were perfected by nature long before man ever arrived. 2. The giant centipede, Scolopendra gigania. There are creatures in the jungle that seem born from nightmares, long, armored, writhing shapes that twist through the shadows. Among them, none inspire more dread than the giant centipede. As thick as a human finger and longer than a forearm, it moves with a sinuous grace that's almost hypnotic. Its body, a chain of hardened plates, glistens under the faint moonlight as it slithers up tree trunks or across the jungle floor. Each step makes no sound, yet every movement feels wrong, unnatural, as if the earth itself recoils. The centipede is a relentless predator. It doesn't stalk or chase, it invades. It slips into burrows, climbs walls, even creeps into beds, drawn by the warmth of life. When it strikes, it uses 2 venomous claws that inject a neurotoxin capable of killing small mammals in seconds. Birds, frogs, even bats, all fall prey to its cold efficiency. The venom doesn't just paralyze, it burns. Victims convulse, gasping for breath as the centipede feeds slowly, alive and aware until the end. There's an old tale told by miners deep in the Brazilian jungle. A man who woke in the night to a strange pressure on his chest. When he opened his eyes, he saw it, a massive centipede crawling across his body, its antennae brushing his skin. He froze. One wrong move, and it would strike. When his companions found him the next morning, he was alive, but his chest bore 2 deep puncture marks. The creature was gone. No one saw it again, but the man never returned to the forest. In the Amazon, fear doesn't always roar or hiss. Sometimes it crawls silently, and you only feel it once it's already too late. 1. The jaguar Panthera onca. There's a silence in the Amazon that only comes before death. Heavy, absolute, almost sacred. When the jungle grows still, when even the insects stop their endless chorus, something ancient is moving through the trees. The air thickens, the shadows shift, and then, from somewhere unseen, 2 golden eyes open. The jaguar is awakened. It is the true apex of the Amazon, not because of size or speed, but because of what it represents: precision, power, and an intelligence that borders on human. The jaguar does not chase. It calculates. Every movement, every breath, every rustle of a leaf becomes part of its silent hunt. Unlike lions or tigers, it kills differently, not with a bite to the throat, but with a single, crushing strike to the skull. It pierces bone with ease, its fangs driving through the brain before the prey even realizes it has been chosen. Death, when it comes, is instant. For centuries, indigenous tribes have both feared and worshipped it. To them, the jaguar is not an animal. It is a spirit, the bridge between the living and the dead. Warriors painted its symbols across their chests before battle, believing that its strength and cunning would guide them through the darkness. But for those who meet it face to face in the wild, there is no mysticism, only terror. A single flash of movement, a whisper of muscle in the undergrowth, and then nothing. The jungle absorbs the sound. The story ends before it can even begin. There are stories of hunters who vanished after following its tracks, their rifles found days later, untouched and rusting under the rain. One man, a veteran tracker, once said, "You don't see the jaguar, it decides when you do." He spoke those words only once. Months later, he disappeared. The forest offered no answers, only silence. The jaguar is not merely a predator. It is an embodiment of the Amazon itself, beautiful, untamed, and utterly merciless. It kills not out of hunger, but because it can. It rules not by fear, but by inevitability. Every creature in this vast, endless green knows one truth. When forest goes quiet, you run or you pray. And so, we've walked through shadows, through venom, silence, and blood. But the Amazon still hides secrets no one dares to speak of. Legends of creatures no scientist can name. Footprints that lead nowhere. Whispers of eyes that follow from the tree line long after the camera stops rolling. You've seen the monsters that live in the light. But tell me, are you ready to meet the ones that move in the dark?